Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of 9 to 5 Nerds, Quarantine Edition, with Robert Swathwood and Katrina Swathwood.
Hello.
Hope everybody's doing okay out there. I hope everybody's staying safe, social distancing, and all that jazz.
Wearing your mask.
Yes, we are a mask-wearing family now.
Keep your germs to yourself.
Yeah. Kids still haven't gone out anywhere.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready to take them anywhere.
No, not really.
Yeah. Well, it's not true. We took them to La Jolla.
Yeah, but we didn't go anywhere.
No.
Yeah. So, no, we've been staying at home and watching stuff. We're going to unload all the things we've watched lately, and then I think
Hopefully you have a list, because I can't remember.
And then next time we'll probably maybe Zoom somebody in and have somebody on with us, but we're going to clear out all the stuff we've been watching. My face itches.
Is it dry?
I didn't put lotion on today.
Oh, there's a problem.
I put lotion on every single day.
How's your beard stuff going?
I need to shave. Like, I got this hobo beard going on, and I don't particularly like it this time around.
Is your skin okay?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah, no.
You and your fancy man soap and
it's Viking beard shampoo and conditioner.
You probably spend more on, like, cosmetic products than I do.
Well, I have the beard stuff, which isn't a normal thing. And then I have that new soap, which is nice. I bought Dr. Squatch soap. It's really nice.
Is it living up to the ad expectations?
It is, and I was gonna ask you. You can get it delivered quarterly.
Okay.
Which is six bars every 3 months.
That's a lot. Are you gonna go through 6 bars?
A bar is supposed to last 2 weeks. That's it.
But you're using yours appropriately.
Yeah.
So it should last you longer.
What would be using it inappropriately?
So when people use bar soap, they usually put it in the shower where it has constant moisture and water on it, so it erodes away faster. So, like how I told you, if you use the wood block, because that's what I use for my shampoo bars when I have them, it lasts way longer because it's exposed to air, so it can harden and dry, and it's not constantly wet and gross and slimy.
Sense. Well, they do 6 bars every 3 months for $36.
Okay.
So it's $12 a month on soap.
Can you skip
But
quarters?
Then there was one for 3 bars every 3 months as well. So I'll see how long this one lasts. Nobody cares about my soap.
Oh, okay.
It is really nice soap, though. It smells nice. It makes me feel nice.
Okay.
Like, I've never had a fancy soap before.
So are you, like, going to discontinue your Dove shower stuff?
I don't know yet. I want to see how this one works out and see if I develop any skin issues.
Allergies?
Well, I mean, you don't know right away.
No, you don't.
And I've only used it, like, 4 times, so.
Okay. That's fair.
But yeah, that's life right now. I got a new soap. I got a new soap. It smells like...
I'm getting sucked into all those ads, too. Like, I bought that blue what's-its-face stuff.
What's that?
The dissolving hand foaming stuff and the cleaner and stuff. So I bought that when I was intoxicated.
Nice. I didn't know that.
That's what happens. If we drink and you fall asleep, I typically buy stuff because I get bored.
What's the best thing you've bought while I've been asleep?
I haven't used my Pilates rings yet, which I need to. Daisy's collar came today.
Woo!
So I like that it's easier to put on her instead of
the struggle,
because she doesn't like to stand still.
Well, she gets so excited when she gets to go for a walk.
Right. Which is going to be another battle. I think Oliver's bike is the thing I'm most excited about because I think he'll actually enjoy that.
I think so too. And I think he's going to be happy that something's his.
Right. He got to pick it out. It's his. It's not a hand-me-down. So I think once we order our stuff and get that squared away, it'll be kind of nice.
Yes, I agree.
I can't remember all the stuff I bought, and it's been so much shit. So.
Yeah. So we watched, since we've talked last, you and I, we don't talk in between podcasts. We finished Adventure Time, watched Chernobyl, watched Dave, watched Extraction. Which one would you like to talk about first? We talked about Dave last time, but now we finished the first season.
Okay. Well, let's do Dave first, since it's kind of closing
Okay.
On it. So, the second to last episode, I think the least favorite episode I had was when it was about his beat maker and his girlfriend's roommate.
Okay.
I really didn't care.
No, that wasn't a good episode, but it did have a great moment in there when they were at the farmer's market or whatever, and they bought those wooden shirts.
Yeah.
So even in the episode that I found was
But that had nothing to do with them. No. It was about the kid that he was watching.
Yeah. As much as I wasn't a fan of that episode, it still had some silver linings.
Funny points. But see, the thing about that is, if it's going to be a single episode that doesn't include Dave in it, it has to come back in some way. Like, it needs to connect to the main storyline. Like, the whole Gaeta episode.
That was
That was the best episode, I think, that season.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
That and Allie's speech at her sister's wedding, I think, are two of the best points in that show.
What's funny is it was a show that started off with just pure silliness, but had some very good...
undertones.
Dramatic stuff sprinkled in there.
Okay.
Like with his girlfriend and with Gaeta. It's a really good cast. Like, I like everybody, and it's already been renewed.
Well, Gaeta is the real hype man, so he's been with him forever.
So he's not an actor.
No.
And he had an amazing episode.
Oh no, that episode was legit crazy. Like, I didn't get bored with it. I was constantly like, well, how does this relate? Where's it going? How is it going to connect to it? So, I really like that they added that personal touch. Like, it's a real story. It's not like something that they're expanding on an idea.
Oh, absolutely.
So, like, you can, like, with Flight of the Conchords, you could tell that some of their episodes were based on an expanded idea. And this was a complete, from start to finish, idea for his episode.
My only worry is, so another show that we really liked, I'm Sorry. She's had 2 seasons, and the first season was all her experiences and stuff that had happened.
Right.
And I think she did some of that in the second season too, but she had to expand on it because she used a lot of her own
stories. She overshot all her stories.
So, and the second season was really good as well.
I'm sorry. The second season of I'm Sorry with the tank top.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
That was great.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even see that coming. Like, it's just a guy wearing a tank top. Like, what's the big fucking deal?
There's some good chemistry in that show.
There is. Like, they picked a really good cast between, like, her dad and her mom and her husband.
Scott.
Right. Even her daughter. Like, the front butt thing was kind of, like...
That's a thing.
Is that what people refer to vaginas as front butts?
I used to work with somebody at Home Depot who's had little girls, and they would refer to it as front butt.
See, I have a front butt, but it's not my vagina, it's my stomach. But that's so crazy. Like, I've heard other terms, obviously, but...
I'm Sorry did get picked up for another season.
Good. I enjoy that, too, because I think with her and writing that story with what's-his-face? Robbie? He's in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's crazy. He's from The League, too. I can't think of his name right now.
Rafi?
Yeah, Rafi. There you go.
Dennis Feinstein?
Dennis Feinstein. Right?
Yes. I can't think of his name off the top of my head now.
No, but he's great.
No, I really liked... I'm glad that Dave already got renewed. It was a really good show that I think...
has places to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only thing I would have to say that
Jason Mantzoukas.
There you go. He's great. The only thing I didn't really like is they kind of glanced over the whole breakup with his girlfriend on the last episode. And I understand why, because they had to kind of do his whole career push off and him going into the radio station.
Well, I think they needed that as a question mark to whether anything's going to happen with that in the second season as well.
Well, there's a lot of rumor around whether or not that's how his real relationship ended, and how.
Well, sometimes things aren't that interesting, so it might have been dramatized.
No, obviously.
You got to assume it would be.
Right. But no, I really enjoyed it. If only one episode was kind of ho-hum, I think that's a good season.
It's hard for any show to have, 10 episodes? To have 10 good episodes.
Right. Well, 100% off the ground.
Yeah. It's very, very rare. I can't think of a show that had... Well, Chernobyl did a pretty good job, but that had 10 episodes that kept me glued and off my phone. That's kind of a barometer of where things are at in today's society. Can this show keep you off your phone?
For the entire duration.
Game of Thrones could keep you off your phone.
Well...
Breaking Bad could keep you off your phone.
Okay.
The thing about those being dramas is you want to dive deeper and pay more attention, whereas a comedy you can kind of check in and check out a little bit.
Well, you can hear it in the background. Like, it's not necessarily something you have to watch 100%.
Whereas with a drama, sometimes the things that aren't
miss
said
things,
are
right.
just as important.
Right.
Unless it's The Office, in which you watch it so much that you start watching secondary and tertiary characters to see what they're doing in the scenes because you've seen the main people do so much stuff.
Right.
Yeah. That's weird.
Well, that's in every show. Like, that's with How I Met Your Mother, too. Like, there's things going on in the background that you're just kind of like, oh. Like, the whole episode of when they're supposed to be watching Robin's morning show. Mm-hmm. And all this stuff is happening on the TV screen.
Yeah.
And they're focusing on the argument in the living room.
Well, and then there's little things like when they were counting down to...
Oh, Marshall's dad's death. Yeah, that was...
There was the numbers everywhere.
That was clever. And very smart. Smart show. Bad ending.
Yeah.
No, but going back to Dave, no, I really enjoyed it. I'll definitely watch next season.
Oh, absolutely.
Hopefully it continues to get picked up. You know, FX has got a lot of stuff churning.
And I haven't even watched some of the things I've wanted to watch on there.
Like Devs? I'm interested in that.
Yeah, but I wanted to watch the Donald Glover show. Was it Atlanta? Was that what it was called?
I think so. We can add it to the cloud.
I like it. When are we going to watch it?
That is a question. But that's the thing is, you know, with our endless cloud space for our YouTube TV.
Yeah. Plug.
There you go. We can just put it on and let it record, and then who knows whenever we'll get to it.
I don't know why, but I understand that Instagram, when you hit the search function, it shows
remembers everything?
Well, no, there's like an algorithm to show you things that they think you're interested in.
Okay. With every other site, too?
I'm a typical guy. There's always girls coming up on my thing.
Okay.
But the majority of it
They're sure you're heterosexual?
Yeah, I guess. But there's MMA and boxing videos because I know I like watching MMA, but I never really watched... What?
They're data mining.
Yeah. But they... like Grizzle?
Like Grizzle.
We can talk about that, too. But a lot of it... I haven't watched a lot of boxing, so I've been watching a lot of boxing things. But there's barbershop videos on there a lot that show, like, interesting haircuts or, like, how to do a proper fade and stuff. But today... It was a close-up of somebody getting beard plugs.
Beard plugs. So they are not happy with their facial hair. They need plugs to amplify.
And it shows this thing going into their skin and planting these plugs in their face. And his face is like...
You haven't watched, like, pimple popping videos?
No, that's not my jam. And none of those show up on the Instagram thing.
Or people getting tonsil stones taken out of their mouth?
No. Do you watch that?
I have before. Like, you fall down a rabbit hole and you're like, oh my God.
That's foul.
That's so gross. There's some people that have tonsil stones like as big as your fist. Like it's awful.
How would they grow as big as your fist?
It's exaggeration.
Like,
so like we're talking like stones, like legitimate pebbles.
I need to clear mine out.
Like people have to have them surgically removed because they're so big. So your little
if you don't know
ones,
what a tonsil stone is, look it up online and hope that you never get them. They smell so gross.
It's so disgusting. Which I never knew what they were until I met you. I always thought they were like sweet tarts stuck in the back of my mouth because I would eat them
you
so
have
often.
pockets in your tonsils and in the back of your throat and stuff, and it's when bacteria or food and stuff gets in there.
Particles, they solidify.
I had a really bad sore throat when I was about 18, and it started turning white, and I was like, oh, I'm getting strep throat. Uh-huh. And I poked at it, and it came out.
Oh.
It was huge.
Like how big?
The biggest one I've ever had. The size of a small rock.
Okay.
Half the size of a dime.
Okay.
That's a big one.
No, I think I have you beat. I had a really flat one, and it was almost the size of a dime. And I think I bled for like a week after it came out. It was awful.
Anyways, so that's when I looked it up.
You're welcome.
I looked up
for that visual.
That's gross. what is this? And, you know, I found out what a tonsil stone was. So tonsil stones are gross and they smell really bad.
They do.
But I also liked Dave, and I'll be... I mean, unless it took a really shitty turn, I like all the people on the show, and it was really funny. So, I mean, I have a hard time believing that I would fall off of it, but I have fallen off on shows. So...
I think that's hard if you're going to just churn out the same type of content over and over and over again and not really take it anywhere or elevate it. It's kind of hard to be motivated to watch it.
You know what I'm motivated to watch?
What?
The Russo brothers have signed on to do a live-action Hercules movie.
That would be cool.
Which,
I'd like to see who they cast.
As long as Danny DeVito still... I mean, so James Earl Jones got cast as Mufasa.
Right.
In the remake of The Lion King, so why couldn't Danny DeVito...
I don't know.
Who would you make play Hercules?
I don't know.
Right? I mean,
who's an all-American or all
Zac
Greek?
Efron?
I don't know, man. That kid's got problems.
Yeah.
But he was great as what's-his-face.
Ted Bundy?
Yeah. So good.
He was the best part of that. Well, you would hope so. It's a Ted Bundy movie.
No, he was good. I don't know. Like, it has to be, like, almost borderline, like, sheltered dumb, but not, like, stupid.
Like Zachary Levi?
Maybe.
Is he too old, though? Probably.
Probably.
You need somebody younger. You need somebody in their 20s.
I don't know if Zac Efron's young anymore.
He's not. He's, like...
He's Disney old.
I don't think he's our age, but he's got to be close, right?
Maybe within a couple years.
32, maybe?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know these young children.
He's 32.
Nice. Good call.
Okay, so you don't know what... You know that I've been playing Final Fantasy VII, and I was trying to get...
I was just Zoom. Don't worry about it.
I was trying to get... What was that?
I don't know. Somebody's dying?
I was trying to level up materia.
Okay.
And I was doing the same battle. We call it grinding. Over and over
I've heard the term before.
And over again. I know. But, so Parker, I was like, hey, Parker, do you think you could...
It's fine.
It's like, hey, Parker, do you think you could do this battle for me? I want to see if you can do it. And he did it. And he's like, because my best was like 1 minute, 12 seconds. I could do these 5 battles. And I was like, nah. He's like, that was like 1.5 minutes. I was like, no, it was 2 minutes and 3 seconds. And boom, it was 2 minutes and 3 seconds. I was like, damn.
He's calling numbers out of thin air?
Yeah.
And You're just plucking them out?
And I did it. And Parker's like, no, I beat you. I was like, no, that was 1 minute and 57 seconds. And it was. And I'm like, I got 2 in a row. To the second,
Did you go buy a lottery ticket?
No, I should have. I thought about it.
Because
I was like, oh my God. Like, I couldn't believe that I had gotten it. No, but Hercules and Aladdin are my 2 favorite Disney movies. And the Russo brothers also did, I think...
Are they doing it for Disney Plus?
I don't know. I think it is. There's a bunch of things that were announced.
Won't everything be on Disney Plus now for Disney?
No, Mulan got an official date of release in July.
Oh, for like theater?
Mm-hmm.
Are theaters going to be open in July?
I don't know. You can always move stuff.
Well, why even announce a date if you don't know if it's going to be open?
Hype. I don't know.
Well, they have that to release. They have Black Widow to put out.
That's November. Now.
Let's see if there's any fucking theaters open.
The Russo brothers were involved in Extraction as well.
Did they write it or just direct it?
They didn't direct it. A stunt guy directed it.
Okay.
But they were involved. Maybe they were the producers or...
They were loosely tied to the movie. I enjoyed it. It's an action movie. It's not a terrible story. I don't think it really... Like...
They did the screenplay. I liked it a lot. It was a less smooth John Wick.
Right.
Like...
I don't think it was meant to be as polished as John Wick.
Not at all.
I think it was okay.
Do you need like a concrete, amazing storyline for an action movie? Because I think that John Wick is the exception, not the rule. Most action movies aren't.
Oh no, they're not that fantastic.
In-depth.
No, they were just completely on point with John Wick.
John Wick built like a whole world,
backstory and world and underbelly. You know, no, that's completely a conceptual idea.
But Extraction was a fun. I think they're trying to do a sequel though now.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it did like 90 million views in 2 weeks.
Like, I like the interaction with him and the kid. You know.
When it comes down to it, is Chris Hemsworth is a
He's
shining spot in every movie he's in. Because Men in Black, I actually liked because him and Tessa Thompson have such a good
great
chemistry.
chemistry, yeah.
In, all the Thor movies.
I think it's because they're friends. And that matters.
Oh, yeah, big time.
When you get along with people that you work with.
Big time. I think you see the results. But he just seems like he has fun doing what he's doing whenever he's doing it. And that shines through, too. When somebody's not having fun, although, you hear about, Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy and how much they hated each other on...
But they did a great job working together in that movie.
Yeah. Which is, it could go both ways.
I think that's the difference between children and adults. If you can put down your differences and just do your job and be like, I'm here, I'm getting paid to do something, I'm going to do everything I possibly can to make it great.
Yeah, but some people never grow up out of that.
No, they don't. And that's the thing. I'm not a huge Charlize Theron fan, and there's been a couple movies that I've seen her in that I'm just like, oh, well, that's okay. It's not great. But she has done some fantastic works of acting.
Yeah, I haven't seen
I want to see Bombshell.
Yeah,
that's supposed to be great.
And was that Jay Roach?
Yeah.
I kind of like him.
Nicole Kidman, I'm not a big fan of hers either, but she does great acting as well.
Who's an actress you do like?
I like a lot. I don't I don't know. I was going to say before you cut me off in Big Little Lies, she did a great job being a battered wife and playing that role.
Who, Nicole Kidman?
Yeah. Real bad. Skarsgård, fucked her up big time. Oh, yeah.
I don't think that, and I know this goes down to a lot of things, but I don't think actresses, I think it's just actors now. You're assuming everybody's just actors. Right. But I don't think female actors get the same, who, I was going to say, who's the female Tom Hanks? It's Meryl Streep.
Right.
But
she's great.
Yeah. So there
Sally Field.
So there's one that, but Sally Field, really?
You don't think she's a great actress?
In what?
Steel Magnolias.
I've never seen it.
Forrest Gump.
Yeah, she was good. But she's not Meryl Streep. Nobody's Meryl Streep. But, who's another, big time,
Anjelica Houston.
Yeah. Yeah, you could say that. But, like a Tom Hanks, a Jeff Bridges, multiple Oscar winners.
Susan Sarandon.
There you go. That's a good one. I like Susan Sarandon a lot.
You know what's funny? This doesn't come out of left field. I like Dolly Parton as an actress.
I don't think
actor.
I've never seen her in anything.
Really?
Yeah.
What's her face from Ghostbusters and Working Girl, and I can't think of her name. She's an Avatar.
Sigourney Weaver?
Yes.
She's good too. Yeah. So yeah, there are, but you just named all older actresses.
So newer ones?
Well, that doesn't even be new. Natalie Portman's great.
Natalie Portman is great.
She's won an Oscar. Did she win for Black Swan?
I don't know. I think so. I don't know. I think you have to be more than something just hanging out on the side of some dude to be a better...
It's harder to stand out because they've been held back for so long. But you're finally getting more... I still want to watch Birds of Prey because I think Margot Robbie's pretty good.
I think she's great. She kind of makes roles her own.
Yeah. And we still haven't seen Tanya or any of the serious roles
I've been
she's
wanting
done.
to watch I, Tanya for a while.
But she kind of disappears in what she's doing.
What's her face who was in Lady Bird? She's great. Sagors, whatever. Or she was supposed to be in Little Women. I wanted to watch that too. Mm-hmm.
It just feels like, I know that they said it was a good screenplay and it was a good movie, but it seems like it's just been done so many times.
What, Little Women?
Yeah.
Christian Bale was in the one with Winona Ryder.
Yeah, I don't know.
Laura Dern.
She's good. She disappeared for a long time. You can bag on her all you want, but Scarlett Johansson's done a lot of good. She was great in Marriage Story.
She's done some good work. I'm not a big fan of hers either, but she's a great actress. Or actor. Actor. Sorry.
No, but I really liked Extraction. I think I liked it more...
Danny...
more than most.
Gara, what... Is that her name? Denai
Guerra?
Yeah.
She's good.
She's great as Okoye.
Top...
what's her face who plays... who was in that crazy movie that we watched?
Meryl Streep's won 3 Oscars.
Yeah, she's a boss.
Katharine Hepburn's won 4 Oscars.
What about John Krasinski's wife?
Emily Blunt. I like Emily Blunt a lot.
She's funny.
Yeah.
She's got a sense of humor. She can kill people. She can do all things.
Katharine Hepburn and Audrey Hepburn has won one. But I'm looking at all these, like, these are all, like, classic actresses. None of them are, like, Elizabeth Taylor's on there.
You didn't watch...
Julie Andrews is on there.
You didn't watch Room. Brie Larson was great in that movie. You watch her pull a tooth out of her mouth and give it to her kid.
I really like Diane Keaton.
Diane Keaton's great.
Kathy Bates.
Even Goldie Hawn. Glenn
Close hasn't won an Oscar?
That's a shame.
Jodie Foster's won 2.
What's her face from...
Cate Blanchett's really good.
She is. She is fantastic.
Emma Thompson has quite a few moments.
God, what was I going to say?
Sigourney Weaver's on here. No Oscars. She's been nominated 3 times. Julianne Moore. Good
I like
actress.
Her.
Nicole
She's
Kidman's
weird
on here.
And kooky. Marissa Tomei. Did she win for My Cousin Benny?
Julia Roberts is on here.
Well, she's like America's sweetheart, right?
I guess that would be the female Tom Hanks, huh?
Julia Roberts?
Yeah. Because everybody loves Tom. Nobody dislikes Tom Hanks. Does anybody dislike Tom Hanks? No, everybody likes Tom Hanks.
But Demi Moore?
Yeah.
We can keep listing actresses.
Yeah, we could just do that to the whole...
Yeah.
Speaking of Oscar winners, they officially announced that Taika Waititi is doing his own Star Wars movie.
I heard that.
Now, I feel like you ever feel like you're tied to somebody? Like you jumped on board right before they got big, so you're like...
oh, you mean so he's like getting Disney money just pumped into him, and they're going to ride that until...
Yeah, like Jon Favreau. Like Jon Favreau.
But he was making movies way before Disney jumped on him.
So was Taika Waititi.
That's true.
For at least 10 years.
That is true.
Not as long as Favreau, but I mean, he's got such a weird
take on things.
And
I think they're tapping into that part of the people that want that.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, Disney has a reputation for pulling, like, James Gunn. What did he do before Guardians? Slither was, I mean, What did the Russo brothers do?
I don't know.
Yeah, what do they're pulling these people out that are less experienced.
Getting a bargain for their bank, their dollar.
And now they have an Oscar winner. Like, and since we watched Flight of the Conchords, which he was involved in, right?
Right.
And we watched What We Do in the Shadows a few years before Ragnarok came out or broke out. I feel like I'm not only tied to that, but dry, like, monotone delivery on comedy is my favorite kind of comedy. I like...
But he also brings it to another level because, especially in... What was the movie we just watched that he did?
Jojo Rabbit?
Yes. There was some pretty twisted, sick, like, straightforward parts in that where he was legit scary.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, I was just like, oh, God.
Yeah. He played a great Hitler.
He did. And, I think he just brings a different perspective from what we've all seen before, which is
what you want.
Which is what I want.
Yeah.
A lot of people want gurgitated same thing over and over again.
I know that's contradicting with what I just said about Extraction, of it just being a fun action movie. But with what's going on now and as many dramas as we watch, I like breaking it up with a stupid comedy or a stupid action movie.
Which is why I kind of put The Wrong Missy on our list.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's not
going to be good.
Going to be good. We watched that one movie with Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston.
It was terrible.
It was awful.
It was terrible. But that was terrible, and it was terrible to watch, and I didn't like anything about it. I want something to be terrible and still funny.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if David Spade delivers, but it looked interesting.
It's David Spade playing the straight man for the first time in a long time. He's usually the joke one.
With the sidekick?
He's usually, like, since
the
Tommy...
comedic relief?
In Tommy Boy, he was the straight guy, and Chris Farley was the comedic guy.
Okay.
So, and then, since then, he's been Joe Dirt, and been side characters, and been the funny one, but now he looks like he's going to be the
straight-laced guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, it's been a little while. But, no, Taika, I mean, I'm excited to see... Star Wars could use a little humor. Like, didn't he direct the final episode of Mandalorian, and that's when Jason Sudeikis kicked Baby Yoda, and they were making jokes that they couldn't hit anything? Like...
No, I think so. I can't remember if it was the second to last one or the last one, but no, he did do an episode of The Mandalorian, which I really enjoyed.
So I'm I'm in. Like, I want to see
He brings
it.
a different type of humor. Like, I can't wait to watch What We Do in the Shadows with Mark Hamill in it. Like, that's going to be really
We have that on...
We do.
Nice.
We still have to watch that.
That show has been... It's surpassed any expectations I had for it.
It's not as good as the movie, obviously.
No. But the movie had Taika and Jermaine, and it was just... It was so good. But what's the girl's name in the show? I can't think of it off the top of my head.
I can't think so either.
But her and Matt Berry.
She's the best. She's my favorite.
Oh, I like her.
Because the way she looks, she does the gym
She's
thing.
Just
She's just like, these fuckers.
No, Matt Berry is the best. He's so good. And he's always talking about...
Well, actually, we're both wrong. Guillermo is the best in that show.
He's really good. He is. He's number one, and then for me is Matt Berry.
Okay. I would say What's Her Face is my favorite.
I like
Nadia.
Nadia. What's Matt Berry in it?
Lazio.
And what's the main
Nandor.
guy? Nandor? Mm-hmm. He's pretty... I mean, they're all pretty good.
Colin Robinson had a pretty big episode.
Oh, God, it was so good.
And his hair was all, like, crazy. It was good. No,
he's good. I like him, too. I liked him as Nate. Like,
I did, too. I'm not deaf.
Gum has gotten mintier. No, we both like it, and I'm all about him doing a Star Wars movie. You want to go? We have the Parks and Rec reunion, Chernobyl, or Adventure Time?
Let's do Adventure Time first.
Okay, because it took us 6-7 months to watch it all.
Yes,
we watched all 258 episodes of it.
What, 8 seasons? 10 seasons?
8 or 9.
Oh my gosh. I really enjoyed how in depth they went in certain topics, but didn't take it so seriously to the point where it wasn't like over the top.
274 episodes.
Or it made it to where you couldn't understand what was going on.
Well, Donnie, I mean...
There was a lot of dynamic relationships moving in that series.
Big time.
Constantly fluctuating between, just between Jake and Finn to the relationships he had with, like, girls. Mm-hmm. And then the other relationships that were going on around him that he had no idea that were happening.
And dealing with depression.
I loved his box.
Yeah.
That really hit hard.
What, the one he locked up?
Yeah. Where he had his box that he locked everything up in with him and Fern. And I thought that was really interesting because it's very real to a person that you have two people. You have the person that people see and the people that interact with you and, that see you day to day. And then you have this other person that you're struggling with.
Is yours different?
What do you mean?
You have your person that you show is different than the person that...
Yes and no. Like, there's parts of me that I don't expose because I put them behind. Or I guess I put them in my box.
Do you not bring them out in public or you don't bring them out at all?
I don't bring them out at all.
Really? That sucks. I don't have that person. I agree with you that, like, if anybody asks me any question ever, even if it's a coworker, I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to hide anything, and I'm going to say everything. And I tend to think of myself as an oversharer.
See, I don't think it's being dishonest. It's not about, like, I'm hiding parts of myself who I actually am. It's more or less, it's just parts of myself that I don't like.
Okay, well,
or things, and they're also, it's also projections of myself that probably aren't true.
Now, do you bury those things, or have you gotten through those things so you don't need to look at them anymore?
Both.
Okay, fair. If you ask me anything, I tell you, and I don't hide anything from the people that I know that I'm close with. I don't have that box. Because I'm a fucking train wreck so much of the time anyways.
See, and that's the thing is I have to be careful because sometimes I share thoughts and then I get the whole reaction of like, well, that's fucking stupid. Why do you think that way?
By
and
me?
That's like, oh, okay, that's going in the box. That's
By
not
me?
a good idea. That's like just from people in general. Like I get to...
What's something you said that I did that to?
We were talking about something with this whole COVID situation and you're like, you can't think that way. That's stupid. And I was like,
What was it?
I don't know. See, it doesn't really matter.
It might have been just you being too negative and me trying to be positive about the whole
It
situation.
honestly might have been. So, and like, especially like at work, I'm very nonchalant and very sarcastic. And it helps break tension because like things will get broken to us that are just stupid. Mm-hmm. And it's really hard to deal with constant changes, whether it be like work related, especially right now. And so we were talking about something today. Oh, I didn't even do it. We were supposed to send an email on something. And I was like, it's a trap. Because it was a question like of, what is a good XYZ or what makes a good claims examiner? And I was just like, it's a trap. And my whole team just starts laughing because, it's like, that's a very big question. Like, how am I supposed to answer?
It's a big question.
It's like an interview question. You just want someone to start talking about stuff. But, no, and the thing is that, like, there's parts of myself that I have to partition off because I'm not that person anymore.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But I still can see myself or see the roots of that.
Yeah, no, 100% that. I don't have a box, but I think everybody that grows, like we said, some people don't grow up. I consider myself still a kid in a lot of aspects. And I don't think those parts are ever going to grow up. Whether it's, I like to play board games still, and I like to play video games, and I like to goof around and make stupid remarks and stuff, but some of the shit I did in my teens and 20s, you're just like, you're not that person anymore.
Right.
So you don't have to feel bad about that. If we all did that, but some people don't change from that person.
And see, I think that was my favorite episode when he was taking Fern down there. Because it wasn't just like, oh, here's my box. It was like a cavern that he had to like, explore down and go past.
I want to read more into it even because like I never really thought about Marceline and the Ice King's relationship and how she knew him before he went crazy and how that's how people deal with Alzheimer's. Like, he had lost his mind.
Right.
And he didn't know who she was or who he was anymore. But occasionally, every once in a while,
a glimpse would come through.
He would call her Marceline and he would be Simon again.
Right.
And I never thought about that. Luckily, I haven't had to deal with somebody having Alzheimer's.
My friend in high school, her grandfather had it really bad, but it wasn't due to Alzheimer's. It was due to a metal plate put in his brain during the war.
I think Alzheimer's is like the third highest killer behind heart disease and cancer.
Well, and even just dementia in general.
Yeah.
Like not knowing where you are, not remembering where you are or what time of day it is. Like we had that with my grandma when she was here. Like she all of a sudden on a dime decided that
she wanted to go home.
It was time to go. Like I couldn't be here anymore, and she didn't realize that she was 8 hours away from her house. So,
I've had friends who've had to deal with parents passing away from Alzheimer's and how terrible it is. And
well, your brain is basically disintegrating into nothing.
Yeah.
And you're losing yourself and everything around you. But
no, I can't say enough good things about that show because not only did it have the really stupid, silly, funny episodes,
right? It
had so much stuff that the kids didn't catch while we were watching it.
They're too young.
What's funny is I'll be 36 next month. We're in our mid-30s, and we have a substitute at work who is 18, and he watched it. And talking with him about it, he was like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" Like, because he watched it while it was on. Because it ended 2 years ago.
Right. But he was a teenager.
And which means it ended when he was 16, which means he might have started when he was 8.
10. Yeah. Okay.
So he watched it as a kid, and he was like, Marceline and Bubblegum are gay? And I'm like, yeah, dude. And it wasn't like, it was subtle at first, but
it wasn't flamboyant. No. It wasn't over the top.
And that's the thing, is nothing was forced. It all just came
naturally.
About natural.
Right.
And you can tell the difference.
Like when she takes her home to be ice.
But even before, the other day, when we were just listening to the songs from Adventure Time, and Marceline is mad at Bubblegum, and she's singing about how she's mad at her, and that why does she always have to be the one to come back and make up?
Okay.
So it's like they've been together before, and they broke up.
Right.
And right there, I think, is the first building blocks. Maybe it was even earlier, and I didn't catch it, but I think that's one of the first building blocks of that relationship. But I mean, And I mean, there's parts where Jake's dealing with anxiety.
Yeah.
When you see him freaking out.
He gets all small and
yeah. But we like the show enough. We're getting a puppy next month.
Yes.
And we're naming her Marceline. So, we like the show well enough to name our next puppy we're going to have for 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
After one of the characters. I really put it up there. I liked it a lot, and I was sad when it was over. Luckily, they're making these hour specials for HBO Max.
I liked how BMO was just kind of there at the end. Like,
BMO was
he's
great.
The king. He knows everything.
Yeah.
Like, come talk to me. Hi. Like, that was good. He was a good
There's a lot of good characters. A lot of famous people did voices for that.
There's a lot of people that did voices for that.
A lot of people. And there was a lot of good secondary characters, like Cinnamon Bun and Peppermint Butler.
God.
And there's just... It's such a...
Flame
for
Princess.
Something that looked as stupid as it did. Like, I always thought, that looks dumb.
Which is funny because I always wanted to watch it, and I was trying to trick Parker into watching it like during Comic-Con because they would always have it on, and he just had no interest. He wanted to watch Teen Titans. He wanted to watch, other stuff, and I was just like, okay, fine, sure.
No, it was great, and we sat down and watched it as a family.
We'll have to find something else because they seem to not be interested in Steven Universe, which I kind of want to watch.
We've been watching Clone Wars.
That's true. We have plenty of episodes to watch there.
Yeah. And I heard the final season was amazing.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So I really liked Adventure. I can't say enough good things about it.
No, it's good. And it's to the point where younger kids aren't going to catch up on huge undertones.
I think that's what makes the best cartoons.
They're very subtle.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I mean, like, just adult jokes. Like in Toy Story, Mr. Potato Head shits a brick at some point.
Right.
I mean... Just little
kids think it's funny, but they have no idea what it means.
Yeah, exactly. So I like that show a lot. Like Ice King was my favorite character. I loved Ice King.
Even in the end, he's just Simon.
Yeah. He's just
crazy Betty.
What's funny is he starts off as a bad guy, but he wasn't a bad guy.
Well,
towards the midway, he was not.
No. In the beginning, when you're stealing chicks and putting them in your ice prison, you're a bad guy.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
But if we're referencing him as having Alzheimer's, did he know what he was doing is wrong?
He was trying to make him his wife. Yeah. Like, come
on. At the beginning, absolutely, he was a bad guy. But he turned into not a bad guy.
Right. Well, you found out about his roots and where he came from and who he actually was.
You didn't find out how the world ended. You
don't. So, who knows if that's coming.
That'd be cool.
But I did like how on the last episode they tied in the song for...
Yeah. That you see at the end of every episode?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that was good. I like that. So we only got 2 things left that I had on my list of things to talk about. I don't think you wrote anything down to talk about, did you?
I did not.
That's okay.
I've been really out of my mind, crazy mental. So, there's that.
So one day they announced there was going to be a Parks and Rec reunion, and the next week it was on. Like, it was like...
That's a way to make things happen.
Yeah.
Just be like, okay, we're doing this. It's over.
And I was like, there's no way it's going to be good. And it was great.
I think part of What's-Her-Face, she's just part of Leslie Knope. Like, that's just part of
who
her.
She is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Because we watched that Wine Country movie, which I didn't put on our list of stuff to talk about. And it was okay.
It was okay.
But,
it wasn't great. But...
She had folders and files and organization stuff in that, too. So I know that some people see themselves and they bring part of themselves to roles, and I think that's part of hers. She brings that into her...
She's overly optimistic and positive about stuff, and then, like, she, probably takes on way too much that she probably shouldn't. I know you were not happy with the way Ben Wyatt looked.
Most people. Like, there was a big thing online.
Which is so funny because that's how he looks in the show that he's in right now.
And that might be for the show. He might have lost weight for that role. Like,
right.
He's unnaturally skinny right now.
He's lost a lot of weight. I forget where I noticed it because I saw some pictures of him and I was like, wow, he looks really skinny.
And it was not even that, but he looked skinny and pasty. Like, he looked like
maybe
he had been
he's
sweating.
Sick.
Maybe he had corona and he just...
Or maybe he's had cancer. Like, who knows? Like, people change after having diseases.
That's true.
Maybe he has some health ailment that he's dealing with. I don't know, but he's very gaunt and
it could just be for the role.
Sickly looking, but he can sing. So there is that.
He looked really sick.
I like how nobody wanted to call Jerry. They kept passing the buck on that one.
The only person that should have been in it that wasn't was Craig.
Yes.
Yeah.
Craig should, but maybe him and Typhoon were off on some type of trip together.
But Billy Eichner was posting about it on Twitter. He was. It was like long live Craig and all that stuff.
Billy Eichner is good.
He is.
So who knows why that was not included. I don't know if they just wanted to have the core group.
Well, they had Paul Rudd, they had Purd, they had...
I'm sorry, the opening with Paul Rudd as Bobby was great.
Yeah, it was
He's like,
good.
Wait, what's happening?
But the people that they had on, because Purd was great, Kalamazoo...
But see, they've been on since season 1.
Yeah.
They're old school Parks and Rec. They're not...
you know they all film these at their house, right?
Right.
So, Aubrey Plaza had that stuff at her house.
Yeah.
Like... She's crazy.
No, she is a crazy person.
Yeah. So I don't.
There's no argument there. She is a crazy person.
But it went off as well as it could have. I didn't think that. I'm looking at.
I like how Tammy was there, and they played that off as like she was sneaking into his house with him and Diane.
That was good.
See, Lucy Lawless wasn't on it either.
That's true. That would have been kind of a hard sell. She wasn't in the last season either, was she? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Maybe she was doing
Well, she did that that little clip video with all the stunt women.
Did she? I didn't watch that.
I did. It's pretty good. Rosario Dawson's in it.
Nice.
Drew Barrymore's in it.
Maybe she was off doing Ash versus Army of Darkness.
Oh, maybe.
Because they kind of line up. Because I think Parks and Rec ended in 2018.
And then she immediately did that.
Well, I mean, it would have overlapped because that show's been off for a couple
She
years.
was really heavily in that show.
Oh, yeah. No, but that was good. And last thing we wanted to touch base on was we watched Chernobyl, which for a while was listed as the best show on TV.
I thought it was really good.
It was pretty damn
good. And I
good.
think they did a really good job paying it off in the end when they finally show you what the fuck happened leading up to the explosion. I thought that was pretty amazing.
I think that's the first ever show where the dong ratio was in the favor of Wiener over...
Did they even show any boobs?
No.
Well, it was the miners taking off their clothes because they were fucking hot as shit.
It was no way in any sort of sexual aspect, but I'm just saying that it's always...
It was awkward just watching this, like, naked-ass man just, like, saunter over.
That's great.
Oh, we're doing it like our
fathers
granddad.
did?
Yeah, like, I was like, oh, okay.
That's how it should be.
So you're coal miners by trade. I guess your family's just stamped with the coal miner stamp.
But you knew less about Chernobyl than I did.
Oh, I didn't know anything about it. Absolutely.
See, I had known about a bit of it because I had read some stuff about it.
I had heard the term. I'd never read up on it, like what exactly happened.
I didn't realize they tried to cover it up as much as they did. I
thought like now?
Yeah, exactly like now.
Like, don't do any testing. We won't have any high test scores.
Yeah, that's.
No, so, and that was the thing is I didn't really know anything about it. It happened right after we were born.
We were born in 84 and it happened in 86, I think.
So, what? I was 2 when it happened. Completely devastated that area and the surrounding areas.
Could have been so much worse.
Could have been so much worse. But what I thought was so interesting is that they knew this plan for shutting off the reactors didn't work.
Yeah.
But they still let all these other reactors continue to operate.
Yeah.
For a year.
Yeah.
Like, if that guy wouldn't have blown the cover, like, how long would they let those reactors just go without modifications?
Until another one melted down?
So, there is a nuclear reactor close to where I grew up. And I remember it was decommissioned when I was a kid. The one by us has been
decommissioned now, too. Or in the process of decommissioning it.
Right. But it's like, that's the thing is, it's been shut down, but it's still there.
They're always there.
You can't get rid of that shit.
No.
It's permanently there in the ground. So it's that fucking wife. Like, I was so goddamn pissed. Like, I don't know how many fucking people, it's like my own children. I don't know how many times I have to tell you, don't fucking step on shit. Just don't do it. Like, how many times do they have to tell her, don't go in there.
Yeah.
Don't go in there.
Doing it.
Don't go behind the plastic. Like, don't touch him. Like, I just, what did you think was going to happen? And you know what's funny? What I found interesting is typically the body will protect the baby.
Yeah.
And they'll let the body go. Because I lost my eyesight when I was pregnant with Parker at work, which was fucking terrifying. So
Adam Scott's mom passed away on March 5th of ALS.
Well, maybe that's part of it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he's not eating and needs a sandwich.
That's like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And that's a horrible disease.
Yes.
That's the opposite. That's when your mind stays there, but your body shuts down.
And you can't do anything about it.
Sorry, I needed to know. So
there you go.
Yes, the body will protect the baby.
So the body typically protects the baby and takes what it needs from the body to give to the baby to keep the baby safe. And so I thought it was interesting that in that situation, it was the complete opposite. The baby absorbed all the exposure.
That's what they said in this.
Right.
It could have been just that the radiation was enough to kill the baby but not kill her.
Well, can you imagine like that? They don't let you take X-rays when you're pregnant.
No.
So
and that's a minor
exposure. So having a baby next to a melting man.
The special effects makeup that they used
for the disintegrating people,
for the people that were just melting away. Oh my god, it was
crazy.
That was worse than a horror movie. Oh my god.
Because you're watching it in real time. This person just like melting away. Like
what's crazy is some of the people that were there ended up getting jobs at other
nuclear
facilities. Yeah.
Like, well, and I guess that's what happens when you are in a communistic, environment. If you bend to the right people or give enough, like with him, like he would have had this cushion job. He would have been set up for life if he would have just kept his mouth shut. But then if he kept his mouth shut, he was going to keep all these other people in danger. Yeah. Because it would have happened again.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But no, I thought it was great.
It was. It was a really good miniseries. Like, I didn't watch Band of Brothers or anything like that, so I don't have any other drama miniseries to compare it to. But it was really good. I mean, we've been pretty good on stuff lately being entertaining. You never want to waste your time with shitty stuff.
No. Not with as much content as there is available.
I mean, there's so much good stuff on. I still want to watch Hunters on Amazon.
Okay, yeah.
We
haven't watched Good Omens. And I know I want to watch that.
Yeah. No, I did too.
But
no,
there's only so much time in a day.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, I'm mentally, emotionally, and physically just exhausted.
It's hard because it's like I have these weird days off, and then I stay up late on the days that I'm off, and then I have to get up early the next day for work. So then I'm super tired the next day, so I fall asleep early that day, and I'm just...
So maybe you need to take naps on Tuesdays when you get home, so you can stay up late on Tuesday, and then be tired on Wednesday.
That would work. It's just I'm all over the place. And it's the same thing. It's like everybody's just so burned out. And it's hard because
it's a legit problem. Like there's so many things I've seen posted with my company about make sure you take breaks from your desk. Make sure you get up and walk around.
You're not taking breaks.
Like make sure you're doing this. And I'm just like, I don't have fucking time for that shit because I look at, my day on a Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Parker's got Zoom meetings Monday through Thursday at 9:30 for half an hour, which is fantastic. Mm-hmm. Like it is so great that he gets to see his class and his teacher 4 out of 5 days a week because he needs that.
Yeah.
Oliver now has meetings on Monday, Thursday, and Friday. And those times vary, which is just kind of bananas. And then, making sure they're getting all their shit done. And, I think in the back of my head...
I really feel like we're in the minority of people that are making our kids do their schoolwork.
Well, like, today was a struggle, obviously, as you know. But the past couple of days, it's been hard to get them to start at 8:30. And I'm like, come on, guys. I was like, they're used to going to school at 6:30, having 2 hours to decompress until school starts, and then start school. So now they're waking up whenever they wake up by 7:30 at the latest.
They still get an hour.
And then they have an hour to kind of do what they want to do. And so I know I told them today, I said no cartoons next week because I can't get them to brush their teeth. I can't get them to be ready to go at 8:30. And I know that's hard for Oliver because his stuff typically isn't ready until 9.
But he has stuff he can do.
But he has things that he can do. Yeah. And then there's something that we need to start making him do something else too, which I'll talk about later because no one else cares about that. But no, it's hard. And then I have conference calls, and I've got deadlines, and I've got audits, and I've got all kinds of other shit that I got to do.
I got 10% of my check leaving from the governor.
Well,
it's better than losing my job.
Would you rather have a furlough?
I mean, I think it might come out to the same amount. So
because don't they make you work during furloughs, but you don't get paid? Or do you just not work?
You just don't work.
And don't get paid.
And don't get paid.
So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
I get it. I'm not upset about it. As long as I have my job, I'm not upset about it. Because 10% less is a lot better than 100% less.
Absolutely. It could be way worse.
Yeah. So it's just, I hope everybody that's out there listening is doing well. I know that things aren't great right now. But you can be as negative as you want. Things are going to get better eventually. And they will. I mean, you have the smartest people in the world, all over the world, working on some way to try to get things to be better. And, I don't know.
Some country might figure it out.
Well, we have a couple that have gone into phase 2 vaccines, and Oxford University has one over there that's looking really good. So, I mean, there's going to be stuff there. We're resilient. We'll get through it.
Well, people in general are typically resilient. I think it's just hard when you're looking down the face of a bad organizational group.
Oh, yeah, it's been terrible.
So that's hard.
And if you are one of our international listeners, it's just as bad as you see on the news, if not worse. It's...
We shake our head and fist, too.
It's...
But it is what it is. And I gotta spin those plates until the next day. I told somebody recently, I was like, it's a bad, bad reboot of Groundhog's Day. And
isn't that Happy Death Day? Wasn't that the movie that they did that where she got killed every day and it kept going back?
Oh, God.
We need to watch that.
We do.
I like Blumhouse movies.
But
no, back on. We're going to try to get Alan, our friend Alan Berserker, on here soon. He's been dying to be on. We're not going to social distance. We're gonna Zoom. So
yes.
He won't be here.
No.
So we're going to test that out this week and
see how
that goes. And if that works out well, we're going to start having some of our regulars on and possibly some other people that we haven't had on before. We have some friends and some people we've met through friends that might want to come on. So we will be back. We're aiming to do between 2 and 4 episodes a month. We did 2 last month. We'll have 2 to 4 episodes up this month, and it should be that way for the extended future. It's just, I mean, you all out there understand. Even though we have the extra time,
it's exhausting. Sometimes
you're just exhausted. So I hope everybody's doing well, and we will be back shortly.
Bye.